Next casino is going to have Chum's Chinese food.
No, this is my last idea. This is my last idea I'm pitching. I'm trying to get something here. Just think about it. The Chum room.
Ooh,
Bang bang.
chum room. I think there's something.
It's just a small, intimate club. You got you got a few people back, chilling, drinking scotch on the ice, smoking a cigar. There's a sign at the door that says "No Ricks Allowed." I mean, the vibes are vibing in this place.
Down on the strip where the neon glows, there's a little shop everybody knows, where history's bought and treasures are sold. Gold and silver, stories unfold. When the doors close and the lights dim low, Rick and Chum kick back, friends they get to know. Gold and silver by day, but at night, my friend, pawn after dark is where the stories and laughter never end.
Welcome to Pawn After Dark, where the pawn shop is closed, and Rick and I chumming up with our pals. Today we have, can I call you Mr. Downtown? I mean, you're a Las Vegas legend, Derek Stevens. I mean, rebuilt downtown, I feel like. Other people have tried, but no one has brought a casino like Circa to the downtown strip, and that wasn't your first one. I mean, I can't wait to hear the story from where you started and where you are now.
Well, I appreciate it. Great to be here, man. I love coming over here. I mean, you guys know how many people come and visit you. The lines outside are crazy. For us in the casino business, the number of people that come and stay with us, hanging around downtown, spending a weekend because they want to. Their big event is they want to come here to your store.
No, they want to go to the pool at the Circa. Dude,
they do that too. They double dip.
Where did you get this idea to have like a massive pool / sportsbook kind of thing going on? I mean, you're killing the sportsbook game because you're doing something that no one else is. You have such an environment over there.
Yeah, we try to create a vibe. We wanted to create something where people want to come to Las Vegas and have the best pool, outdoor, aqua theater, sports orientated, but not sports only, also musical, and utilize Vegas's sunshine. I mean, what do we have? 325 days of sunshine out here.
Yeah.
And remember, we get a lot of people from the Midwest that come out. They haven't seen sunshine since Thanksgiving, and they're not going to see it till April. So they're trying to make sure they don't have that seasonally affected disorder, that type of thing. They got to get sun. So, we're open 365 days a year. Pools are heated to about 103 degrees. So even when it's cold out in Vegas, it's still a great place to hang out, get some beers at the pool.
Well, I'm going to have to come over because I get about 5 days of sun here because Rick just shades me all year long.
Yeah. So I mean, and like the main screen at what's the pool called again?
Stadium Swim.
Stadium Swim. It's 115 foot or something like that.
143 feet, 143 foot screen, big television.
It's almost as big as Rick's head.
Yeah. So like, I mean, so you're from Detroit. I mean, how did so one day you just said like, I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah, and it was about 20 years ago. I came out to Vegas 2006, had an opportunity to buy a small little place, the Golden Gate.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to make it or not in Vegas, but it worked. Gave us the ability to buy another place downtown called Fitzgerald's. That's what we turned into the D. And that's how really in working with the D, working with you guys, for about 10 years. Every time somebody left the pawn shop, they always had to drive past the D, one way or the other.
You know what?
No matter where they're going.
A lot of people go back and forth between the D and the pawn shop all day. I hear it all the time.
They sure did. Yeah. They sure did. So with your help, we were able to grow that business.
Yeah.
And then when the opportunity came up to buy this piece of property called the Las Vegas Club, and everything on that city block between Main Street and First Street, between Fremont Street and Ogden, we were able to pull that off, and one thing led to the next, and we were able to demolish it all and design and build Circa.
Well, we're going to get in that in a second because my eye is caught on this gym you have sitting over there. What did you bring for us today?
Check this out, chum. This is a flask, a whiskey flask or bourbon flask, that when we were renovating the Golden Gate and we were expanding the Golden Gate and we were tearing some walls down, we found this thing inside the wall.
Let me see. You keep the lid over there, or I don't want to drop that lid. You're supposed to bring bourbon in it. So 4/5 quart, 86 proof. This must have caused some pretty slow days on the job.
So it probably did. You're right.
Okay.
So take a look at this, Rick. This is pretty good. I'm gonna need
I can tell you about these.
I'm gonna need to call in an expert here.
Okay.
Money Bucks, Papa Rick himself.
All right. So back in the day, started like the 1950s, Jim Beam started making commemorative bottles. Okay. And a lot of them were just, odd figure, like just kind of weird and everything, like they're just different shapes and stuff like that. But a lot of them were like the Golden Gate. So like the Golden Gate, Jim Beam would come like, hey, you want to buy a couple hundred of these? They're a little pricey. You could give them away to like big spenders. You can give them away things like that. And they started becoming really collectibles. I mean, it was really weird because some of them you can't give away and some of them are worth a lot of money. So like this one probably worth a couple $100 because it's Vegas related and stuff like that. But I've never seen this one right here, so I think probably even go for even more money. But like it was a big deal, like in the 50s and the 60s, even the 70s. Jim Beam made thousands of different ones of these, and some of them were really collectible. And like there would be people's game room, they'd have like 100 of these things lined up. But I think it's really cool. And you found it in the wall?
We found it in the wall when we were expanding the Golden Gate. So we were assuming that the construction crew loaded it up, and during the day while they're working and it's hot out in Vegas and all that, they had the ability to get a drink.
Well, they probably stole it from the bar, the construction workers did, and then once they were done with it, they just stuck it in the wall. Yeah, and that's sort of a thing with like construction workers. So when I was renovating my place in Oregon, I found some 1952 magazines in the wall.
Yeah, when we were doing Pawn Stars Does America, so many people would come in and say, I bought an old house, I was renovating, and I found this in the wall. All different, from comic books to liquor bottles and everything in between.
I guess once you're working on a project, you stick something in there, it's your memento for the next generation.
Did you stick anything in the wall in Circa?
We actually did, right at the cornerstone on the corner of Fremont Street and First Street. That big cornerstone, we've got a safe in that we built. We poured concrete all over it. And we had a grade school, I think a second grade class, wrote letters wishing Circa the best and talking about the current events of the day, which was in 2018. We put a couple of other things to create this time capsule. So it's in there. So maybe 100 years from now, pop it open and we see what's in there.
Well, 2018 was a beautiful time.
Yeah, but you were building, trying to finish Circa during COVID.
Yeah, I mean this was on the first floor. I mean we were cooking away on construction in 2019, and then, in March of 2020, when everything shut down, we were about 9 months away from completing the project. So I had everybody asking me, "Are you gonna put a halt on the project?" And I was like, "Man, we're way too far down the path." So I'm really glad that we kept rolling, because who would have really thought that once a lot of the COVID restrictions ended, it would have been that hard to get things up and going. I mean, there was no one able to really work. The prices went through the roof. You couldn't get any products in from overseas if you needed them. So we just kind of barreled away. We were lucky in Nevada. Construction was deemed essential, so we were able to continue to work in 2020.
One of the cool marketing kind of tricks you had before you opened up the Circa was like, it's a mystery. What are we building? What are we doing here? How did you keep that a secret for so long? Because, I know you, I know Richard, who works with you close, and like I couldn't get anything from anyone.
Yeah, that was actually, I give a tip of the cap to Steve Wynn. If you ever read some of the history of Steve Wynn, when he opened up the Mirage, and then he opened up Treasure Island, then it was at Bellagio, and then it was Wynn and Accor. One of his key things was he never allowed people inside to take pictures during construction, because he thought it built up this demand that people just couldn't wait to see. And you remember those old pictures at Mirage, what it was like when they opened the Mirage and the lines were mile long.
I mean, that was the biggest. I mean, because I remember. I mean, I'm that old. It's sort of crazy that the Mirage is getting closed down now and redone because it's so old. But I remember when it opened, and it was like, it was the thing. I mean, you went to that. I mean, and then when you first time you went in there, you saw that atrium and all that. It was because it was the first like kind of mega resort on the Strip, and it was the first post mob era casino, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely changed the future of Las Vegas at that point. For now, it's the history of Las Vegas. But yeah, so I just thought that we were going to bring in some new unique things. The Mega Bar, so that's the longest bar, west of the Mississippi. It's the longest bar west of Long Bar at the D. So,
You love your long bars.
Yeah. We built the world's largest sports book, and then with Stadium Swim, I just kind of felt that why pre-announce it?
Yeah.
Pre-announcing doesn't sell anything.
For sure.
Let's try to make sure people are excited about it, and then they show up, and then hopefully they have a good time.
In this day and age, though, to not have construction workers taking pictures and floating them all over the internet, I mean, it's a pretty good feat, like, to be able to control that. It's really hard to do in today's, time.
It is when everybody has a camera with them. 30 years ago, people didn't have cameras, but now everybody has a camera because everybody has a phone. So we made people sign a lot of documents you couldn't share. It worked pretty well. Didn't work perfect, but it worked pretty well.
The first photo that came out, Johnny Katz would have been all over that story, writing a local story on it. Your pictures would have been everywhere. So
True.
that was pretty cool. I thought it was amazing how you were able to keep it a secret so long and build it in plain sight. Kind of like a magic trick, and I love magic.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, the other thing is, like, you got to town 19 years ago, and suddenly you're the biggest guy downtown. Every other sports book just gave up on having their own sports book, and they just use you now. I mean, I found that pretty amazing. I mean, like, what's the secret? Because I want to do it.
We took an approach. We felt that when we designed Circa, we wanted to have some authenticity that we're really celebrating Las Vegas. So it's not circa 1930 or circa 1970 or circa 2010. We wanted to kind of represent all of the eras of Vegas. And we think Vegas has been around long enough that there's so much history in Vegas that Vegas needed its own themed casino around Vegas. So we kind of focused in on that. And then from an operations perspective, we kind of went all in on sports. We went in because I felt that at some point sports betting was going to become legal around the country. So we made the decision like in 2017. Well, sports betting didn't become legal around the country until 2019. It happened faster than we thought. But we thought when that happened, the interest in sports is going to skyrocket. And sports is always something that people want to enjoy together. And they like going out with their friends, rooting on their team. That's where people love going to a Golden Knights game, but they usually go with friends. And then we decided that's the theme we're going to go with. Then COVID happened, and what's really amazing is how tourists, consumers have changed since before COVID till now. Now people really want to get together. Because after that year and a half where everybody was isolated and wearing masks and all that stuff, people started going stir crazy. Yeah. So now even more so, people want to go out in groups. The average size of a dinner party, like at Barry's or at Andiamo, it's much higher after COVID than it was before. The average group size coming in, people come to Vegas, they might come as a couple, but oftentimes they come as 4 couples. So everything's kind of changed in that way. And sports kind of falls into that because people love watching sports live. They like coming together and doing it. It's a little bit different than maybe program TV, because program TV, you're going to watch it at your own schedule. But nobody ever says, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl on Tuesday. Everybody wants to watch it right there live.
Well, I got an idea for you. I think maybe your next restaurant should be a high-end, classy restaurant. No phones allowed.
Whoa.
Like we're getting in a time where everyone's at dinner on their phone. So I think you're the man to pull it off if anyone ever could. I think you could do I think people would catch on and start to have a classic dinner amongst friends again. I just thought of that right now, but I thought it was a good idea.
Well, I've seen you have a dinner before. Chum, you get swarmed upon. When people see you, man, people get excited about it. You might not have even had your first bite of that ribeye you've been looking at.
I love a ribeye, but what I love even more is the people that have put me in the position to be and I am today. I appreciate when people ask me before I eat or after I eat. It's I'm happy to always do it, but I look at it as do I want to eat my dinner without being interrupted? I do, but when people aren't asking me to take a picture anymore, I got to figure out what's going wrong with my life. Because at the end of the day, I have been on television for over 16 years. It's because of me that Rick is such a big star. So I carry the weight on my shoulders, and, I have to do it for all of us.
Yeah. So you'll miss it when they stop asking for pictures. Yeah.
It's not that I enjoy it, but I'll miss it when they stop.
Well, no, it all depends on where you're at too. If I'm in Barry's, no one really asks for a picture while I'm at Barry's. It's just if the nicer the place, the less people ask for pictures. And that's another thing. Like I remember when you were building it, and you go, "Well, I got a chef." I'm going "You got Barry, didn't you?" He's going I ain't saying nothing. I'm going "You got Barry," because that was a big coup d'etat here in Vegas where you got Barry, and then you opened up Barry's restaurant. That was like a $16 million build out or something like that just for the restaurant.
Yeah, it was a pretty good sized build out, but we got the right team. I mean, Barry and
it's one of the most beautiful
Marco.
Restaurants on the whole Las Vegas area, on the strip, off the strip. The ambiance is.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and I know those guys appreciate it. Those guys do a heck of a good job.
I mean, this food speaks for itself. Barry's food always speaks for itself, but the ambiance there is it's beautiful. Yeah. From the bar to the tables to the tree, everything.
So what's the next project?
Well, we got a few things cooking now. We just opened up last month. When we built Circa, we had a handful of shelled floors that we didn't fill out because we weren't sure were we going to need more suites or more hospitality rooms or more standard rooms. So we just finished off 4 floors, and so that adds 106 new hotel rooms. So that just opened a month ago. So we get to run that for this year. So that's pretty good. And then, in Symphony Park, there's a lot going on over here. You got Cello Towers going up. You've got 2 different Marriotts going. You've got a couple of different high-end apartment complexes. And, we've got a piece of property over there that's pretty special. 7 acres piece of property. And it's the only property that's zoned for gaming. So wow. We're kind of thinking about what this could turn into a few years down the road.
Well, I think it would be awesome in that gaming facility if there was a Pokemon vending machine.
There we go.
It's Vegas. I mean, you take California, the insane taxes, and you got New York. I mean, some of these states where they're moving out in droves, and everyone's either moving to Nevada, Texas, or Florida. And I've been to Texas and Florida in the summertime. I will take 105 and dry over 98 and a gazillion% humidity any day of the week.
I'm with you. I like the dry heat. I am not a huge fan of 90 degrees and 98% humidity. No. I love the dry heat. And I think we're seeing it. I mean, when we're in Vegas, look all around, to the south, to the north, everywhere you're going. Vegas is continuing to grow. It's pretty awesome.
So Vegas always goes in these directions of rebranding, right? With gambling starting to become legal everywhere and people being able to drive 2 or 3 hours to a casino from their hometown, what do you see going on with Vegas in the next 10 to 20 years? How do we keep, Vegas magical?
So I think maybe, let's say 30 years ago, people would fly to Vegas because you could play blackjack, you could play craps, you could play baccarat, you could bet on sports. But then it started changing, and then I think when the Mirage opened in the late '80s, it became more of a destination that included high-end restaurants, and then it's evolved where high-end restaurants. I mean, this is a culinary capital of the world, and then all of a sudden, it became a high-end retail location, just like like whether it's Beverly Hills or Rodeo Drive or Worth Avenue in Palm Beach or places in Chicago. Now you've got high-end stores that have specific jewelry and clothing that only comes out in their Vegas store. Mm-hmm. So now it's a high-end retail place. And then of recent, Vegas tourism, sports tourism has exploded. More people come to watch the visiting team play the Raiders. More people come to watch.
I know that's
I've been here since 1988. Right before UNLV won the championship, right? And like never in my wildest dreams did I think we were gonna like be a sports town with one team, let alone now it's like every single sport is coming here. And I have a candy shop, just in the parking lot, and the Saturday before football home game is just crazy. Exactly what you said. And, like, it's all other team jerseys coming in. A few Raiders jerseys coming in, but mostly other teams.
Because people love to go watch their team. And if you're a Cleveland Browns fan or you're a Detroit Lions fan and they happen to be playing in Vegas, you're going to want to go to that road trip.
Well, no,
people love
it's
going
like
on
this.
these road
Like,
trips together.
like I said, like if you're in Cleveland, where it's Cleveland. I mean, and they're playing here, like it's, and you're a fan, like we can watch the Cleveland play. We can, we can come to Vegas. We can have a good time. It's, and we're gonna have now we're gonna have basketball, and I hear we're having basketball. I hear a lot of rumors, and we're definitely getting baseball.
Yeah. So Sports Town, I kind of feel like is what you're predicting a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's just going to continue. There's no question we're going to get basketball, NBA team. There's no question we're going to get baseball. And what that does is it creates that many more reasons for people to come and visit Las Vegas. So I think Vegas tourism, sports tourism is a big deal. Obviously, food and shopping is a big deal. And then shows and headline entertainment. So really, this is just it's all entertainment based. And this is you're no longer flying to Vegas just to play blackjack. That's become kind of a secondary thing because you can play blackjack, like you said, all over the country. But people are coming here because it's the best effective like vacation spot and entertainment spot you could find.
Yeah.
So I read that we were the number one sport. We're becoming the number one sports town in the United States because we're going to have basketball eventually, baseball, football, hockey, F1, and NASCAR. Okay, and the little things too. We have a professional lacrosse team. We have a professional.
Well, I mean, with all these sports teams, our college teams are probably going to get better too. And I can see like in 10 years, the same thing. College fan base traveling out here.
I've been waiting for UNLV for 36 years to get back up there.
Well, it could happen. It's going to happen. I mean, from a football perspective, they've got an unbelievable venue where they get to play. It's Vegas.
Yeah.
So UNLV will get there. I agree with you. We all wish it happened a little bit sooner, but having good UNLV basketball, good UNLV football, that's good for Vegas.
Well, maybe you can get like, how they have the big party area at the Raiders Stadium. Maybe you can work a deal with like the baseball team and you could have put a night swim down there.
That wouldn't be bad.
That would be insane. I'm telling you, that's probably my best idea I've had today.
That's a good one.
Night swim at the A's game.
There we go.
Yeah.
And like, maybe like in the right where the home run is. So like if you're in there.
You're in there.
If you're in
kind
there.
of like in the
there.
AAA stadium. They have a pool out there in center field. Yeah.
Yeah, but no one does a pool like you, right? There's all kinds of pool parties, all kinds of pool parties in town, and they're great, but nothing is like what you guys have over there.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. How's your business going? And I mean, I could judge it by the lines outside. The lines never stop.
No, I mean it's cyclical, just like you. I mean, like it's slow from like Thanksgiving to Christmas. The day after Christmas, there's lines down the street. Like December 26th, it was all the way down the block to Garces, and there's probably 20 people going down Garces. It was all the way, and it was an hour wait to get in the shop. Just so people know, like if you show up. Most days it's not like that, but like midday that's like that. Then CES comes to town, the Consumer Electronics Show, where all the nerds show up in town, where most of them show up with a clean shirt and a $20 bill. They don't change either one of them for a week. I mean, you could damn near open a shooting range in the middle of the pawn shop.
My favorite crowd is the NASCAR and the rodeo crowd. Those are some fun people. They come to Vegas to have a good week.
Yeah. No, but but this time of year is just great. It's still good. I mean, no one, like we were talking before the show. I mean, the show is sitting. I mean, it was great back in the day. It's even better now because you can watch Pawn Stars anytime you want. We're on Netflix. We're on Amazon.
We have a 24-hour channel on a streaming network. Just Pawn Stars 24/7 all day long.
Yeah, no, but it's and it's sort of shocking after like 16 years that it's still crazy. People still, I mean, we still get people in. I don't know how many episodes. How many episodes do we do of Pawn Stars? Like 670 or something?
Hold on, let me count the wrinkles on your forehead. They've been growing with each episode. Yeah, like 600 and something.
The crazy thing is like next year, he'll be how old I was when I started Pawn Stars.
I'll be 42 this year. I think you were 42 or 43.
I was right at 44 when we started. Yeah.
44. So yeah, and I was maybe 26 or 27.
Wow.
I think one of the cool things for my character on Pawn Stars was that I just took my natural flaws and exaggerated them a bit because I did know that Rick and Corey, the old man, they just have that serious suit on, and there needed to be a little bit of fun in it for it to have a chance to be successful. But over the time, as things happened and we were on so long, I was actually able to grow as a character and in life, going from 26 to 42. Like, you grow a lot, right? So as a person and as a character, people felt like they watched me grow up and like grow into the man I am today, as to where Rick was already in his 40s. He already was the man he is today. But I'm sure from 26 to 42, you did a lot of growing. And
oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
my character was able to be, and the same growing as a character was the same growing that was going on in my life. And I feel like now when we film Pawn Stars, compared to 10, 12, 15 years ago, it's completely different.
And so he's a lot different than what he was. Because I've known him since he's been 12.
Yeah, I remember you told me that you knew him from when he was a little kid.
Well, he thought I was the bad influence of the group. 22 years later, he knows what's going down.
Yeah. So no, 30 years. I've known you for almost 30 years now.
30 years, yeah. I've had some good times with Rick.
So how many kids do you got?
3.
Okay.
I got 3. Oldest is a director in our casino business in player development. My son is our middle one. He works in our manufacturing company in Detroit. And my youngest just moved back from New York, and she works in our manufacturing company in Detroit as well.
Because not only because before you started the Mr. Downtown, you also have a business in Detroit manufacturing fasteners, right?
Yeah, we make parts for cars. So it's been a great business. Still a business I have, still a business I love, and the one thing I've noticed is that people they need cars and trucks pretty consistently.
Yeah, they
pretty
do.
consistently.
So working with your family, Rick says it's. What do you say? It's the best and the worst thing. I don't know exactly what he says, but I don't think he likes it very much. The best part of my business
is working with my family, and the worst part of my business is working with my family.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about working with your kids so closely?
I like it. Yeah. I like it a lot. It actually makes for situations where we actually spend more time together, because all of a sudden, hey, we got an emergency at the shop. Hey, this machine went down, or hey, we have a hot job. We got to take a helicopter, take parts out to a Tonawanda plant. But while that happens, like, hey, what are you doing for dinner? Hey, what's going on? So you end up having more interactions. So I love it. I love working with my family.
Well, although Rick's not my biological father, I pretty much feel like he's a fatherish figure role to me. I've known him since I was 12. He's watched me grow up. My father passed away maybe 6 months before the show aired on TV, and my dad moved away many years before that. And so in my younger years, around 17, 18, when my dad wasn't around and like I needed some kind of good advice or I needed some help going to the car dealership, whatever, Rick has like always been there to kind of help steer me along and guide me. So, It worked out pretty good for me. I probably could have used some better fatherly advice at times, but for the most part, it's been pretty spot on.
Well, because a lot of times, like, what the fuck are you thinking? Yeah, that's my fatherly advice. Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So like, no, it is good working with your kids, your family, and stuff like that. Like I told you earlier before the show, I've learned how to fly with my son.
Right.
Well, actually, he flies. He's got a lot farther along than I have.
A lot better than Rick. I won't fly in Rick's plane with him unless his son is the pilot and Rick's on the ground because it's only a two-seater.
This is a two-seater, right?
Yeah,
It's a two-seater plane. Yeah.
I'm not sitting on his lap.
Now,
He might
Chuck-
get a little excited if that happens.
Now, Chum, what happens if you happen to be in a plane and you push the eject button?
That's the first and the only time I'll be dropping a parachute.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but also if you push the eject button, the parachute comes out, but then the plane is wrecked, right?
Well, yeah, you know,
It's not my $300,000 plane. It wouldn't be the first time I've wrecked some of Rick's money.
Yeah. Oh no, like the time, like okay, this was like it was a holiday. It was like Veterans Day. Like there's no traffic.
No, are you going to tell my birthday story with the car?
Yeah.
It was my birthday. It was I was born on
so
Labor
like
Day.
literally,
It was
it's like
Labor Day.
Veterans Day or something
Labor
like
Day.
that. Labor Day. Okay. All the lawyers' offices are closed behind us. Okay. We're downtown, so it's usually on a holiday. There's no traffic. Okay. He takes my truck to go to the store, and somehow or the other, like on 6th Street. Okay. I mean, it looked like he was doing like 45 miles an hour. Runs my truck into a tree.
Whoa.
Luckily, the tree was almost dead. Did I ever tell you the real story?
No, I don't think I've ever heard the real story.
Do you want to hear the real story?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. It's been,
I mean, pretty much exactly that. I wrecked I think I told you like a car darted in front of me and I had to like cut off to the ride. But really, this was back in the days when I was smoking the reefer. And I wasn't smoking in your car, but I reached in the back to like grab my bag of weed because I was going to pull over and roll the joint. And then like I just kind of like veered over into the tree. It happened really fast.
There we go.
The more you know. I think that was probably 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So when I first started here at the pawn
it
shop,
was a brand new truck, too.
brand new truck. It was a beautiful truck, but you know, yeah.
So that was before the show.
Long before the show, and I used to do all the runs. We got a new employee that started doing a couple 7-Eleven runs because this is the day where it was, 10 people working here or something. And we had to go to the post office. I would run and place everyone's sports bets because we'd bet sports all day, 7-Eleven. But I would always pull over on the side of the road and roll the joint and smoke it in between every single run, And so when we got a new employee there, I'm like, dude, these 5 to 15-minute 7-Eleven runs can't be fucking happening or you're not going to be doing them anymore. It takes a minimum 30 minutes to do a run. That's it. We're not doing these 5 to 15-minuters. And that was Travis.
Okay.
And I was like, you gotta do whatever you gotta do. No runs are done under 30 minutes because sometimes it takes me an hour to do a run, and I don't want you blowing my. Sometimes I would just go take a nap under the tree, just pull over, long night, just.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I better get back to work and just drive up.
Well, it worked out pretty good. I mean, you made yourself very relevant here, and then you got on this show. Well, after that, even after those long 7-Eleven runs.
Well, the show. I think the reason the show worked so good is because we were being natural. But I think the reason I got on the show is because really they were just looking for one of the extra pawn shop members to be on the show. But I was maybe like 24. I was probably 25-ish, 26-ish. But so I had already known Rick. Over 10 years at the time, right? 15 years. And I had known the old man for a long time, so the camaraderie was good. Actually, Rick convinced me to go to Job Corps and become an electrician. And I actually, afterwards, I would come up here and do some of the wiring and rewire some of the stuff up in the ceiling. And that's how I got to know the old man so good. So, not that other pawn shop members didn't have the same camaraderie. I just think that with my age and some of the guys were older, it just kind of worked out. And I was the one that they chose to be the fourth character. And I didn't really add much back in the day except stupid humor. I was just like, how can I exaggerate the most stupid of stupid humor? And
Hey, it worked out.
basically I was like, I want to be the nephew or the uncle that everyone loves at Thanksgiving dinner because he's like, oh, it's just Chum. We love him anyways. That was my goal.
Got it.
Yeah, like Uncle Eddie at Christmas Vacation. Yeah. So you got a few other projects working on, like, so you're from Detroit. What was it like growing up in Detroit? That's what I want to know. Back in the day, because like you grew up like in the late 70s, early 80s. You're kind of my age, so
Yeah.
Was Detroit like still thriving at that point?
No. Detroit's the only city that's gone that's lost over 1 million people of population. So that started started going down in the late 60s, early 70s, and Detroit's population now is you got to really say metropolitan Detroit. So it's probably about a 3 million person metropolitan Detroit, but the city's only like 700,000. So the suburbs all kind of really grew all around it. Detroit went as Ford went, as General Motors went, as Chrysler went. So as long as car sales were good, Detroit was doing okay. But automotive business is cyclical. So every time it went down, all of a sudden Detroit took a hit. So it was good. I love the city of Detroit. I love metropolitan Detroit. Still have businesses there. I have a lot of family there. So it's my original hometown. But this is my home now. I mean, I've been in Vegas 19 years. So this is.
So I mean, like Vegas is like the only city in the United States where it's everyone's hometown, but no one was born here.
I mean, definitely.
I mean, it's rare you find anyone.
Yeah.
Like your son was born here. Maybe that's what's wrong with him.
Yeah, I mean, but it's very rare to find someone who's actually born here.
Yeah. But but now as time goes by, it's becoming a little bit more and more.
Yeah.
You can see, you go out, you see, look at all these fields all over town. You got Little League fields all over. You got youth hockey all over the place. So now, 10 years, you got a lot of people that were born here and
Vegas is becoming it's becoming a bigger town as far as like.
It's
forever. It was like a move in, move out kind of town, right? Now people are like planting roots here.
Well, yeah, no, but like the town has gotten so big. I mean, I remember where it was a long drive to the Mount Charleston turnoff. Now there's houses past the Mount Charleston turnoff. It's another thing. Like this is one of the greatest cities in the world. I mean, like you can literally drive 45 minutes one way, go to the lake, go fishing, or you could drive the other way 45 minutes, go skiing. It's one of the few towns in the world you can do that.
And you can stop and swim at the stadium swim and place a bet in at the Sportsbook all in one day.
You're definitely trying to get cops to go there, right?
I'm trying to get one of those suites. I'm hoping he's gonna like make a chum suite just full of like expensive Pokemon, and I can just like instead of like Scrooge McDuck swimming in like money, I'm just like swimming in Pokemon cards.
There we go. We could probably pull something like that off. We got to think through it, but maybe we could.
Yeah. No, I just think the pool's awesome. There's nothing else like it in Vegas. And this is a town where creativity is king, right? Everybody's always trying to come up with the next thing. I can't believe that wasn't done at that level or thought of at that level before. That's all. I mean, it takes real, not to like toot your horn or anything, but it takes some real innovation to pull that off and do that and be known. Like, I mean, the D's known for that, right? The Circa's known for that.
Well, the D, I mean, I love the D too. I mean, like,
the D was great. We used to go there all the time before Circa, but I like Circa. One of the things I love about it is you got to be 21 to get in there. What was the thought process behind that?
Well, that was just simply a thought that let's come up with something that I know our competitors can't do, and maybe it'll work. If it doesn't work, we'll change the position. Mm-hmm. So we thought, well, we know none of the other casinos in Vegas are going to be 21 and over. It's like that in a lot of casinos in Europe. Mm-hmm. And we thought maybe if we made 21 and over, there's enough people that spend a lot of time with their kids. But when they're going out on a weekend with their husband or their wife or their girlfriend, boyfriend, as much as they love their kids, they're trying to get away from kids. And nobody likes going to a resort where some other kids are like splashing you in the pool and all that. So
I mean, like, because with my kids, I mean, because, Chum knows me, like my kids, we go out to dinner, they start screaming or whatever. Like, all I got to do is give them the look and then shut up. But like, apparently other parents hadn't figured that out. And I just hate that when I go to dinner when you have like kids just don't, yeah. And like parents don't do anything about it anymore. So I go to Barry's or someplace, no kids. My youngest son, Jake, he for his 21st birthday, that's where he wanted to go. So we took him to Barry's.
Very cool. Yeah, so for us, we decided we're going to try it. And we thought it was going to be something where we could increase customer service. And what I mean by that is by IDing everyone outside the casino, that means once you come in, you never have to worry about pulling your ID out again. Think about if you get a bachelorette party. 8 younger girls, every time they go to the bar, they have to go into their bag, pull out their ID. Every time they go to a blackjack table, they got to pull out their ID. All that time. Think about how much time we have to spend with all of our bartenders, our cocktail waitresses, our blackjack dealers, teaching them about the 50 state IDs and all the passports and all that. This way, nobody has to mess around with that. You just get ID'd out front. We know everybody's over 21, so as soon as you walk up to a bar, you're going to get served.
Yeah.
And we think we could enhance the customer service level by doing this. And we felt that was worth it, and it was a good trade-off, because what we did was we felt that, okay, we're going to give up some hotel business, some hotel revenue business, maybe some restaurant business, but we think the trade-off was worth it to create a higher level of experience. So that's kind of why we did it. And it worked. And it worked great.
It
works
works great.
awesome,
There's
yeah.
nothing like Circa. I mean, like, even during COVID, you'd go to the Strip and it was a ghost town, and you would go to Circa and it was packed. It was because, I don't know exactly the mojo you use to make everything work together, but it's so cool. I mean, it's so cool. You walk in there and there's Vegas Vicky that, was on Fremont Street for I don't know how long. It's just the whole Vegas theme inside, the ginormous sportsbook. I mean, it's 2 stories. Everything about it. I mean, like you rolled, you rolled 7s, yeah.
I appreciate that. The good thing about it is we have a lot of fun, and we developed a lot of customers that like coming to Vegas and like to come hanging out our joints. So
I can't wait to see the new casino.
Well, I can tell you really, really love Las Vegas. I mean, you put a huge mark downtown.
Yeah.
You ever have plans of maybe dipping deeper into the Strip, or you love being downtown?
I love downtown Vegas. I love downtown Vegas.
It's come a long way since you first got in there, right? It's tried many makeovers, but
yeah,
it feels like this one's here to stay.
When we first went into Golden Gate, it was shortly thereafter that Tony Shea brought Zappos in, and that added something. And then they took over City Hall. They built a new City Hall, and now it's all kind of rolling upon each other. So for us, our physical, we love downtown Vegas. And then from our sports app, now you can bet on sports. We're up in a lot of states: Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Kentucky. So that all kind of funnels in through our operation here. So that's kind of how we're growing.
All right. So the next casino is going to have Chum's Chinese food.
No, this is my last idea. This is my last idea I'm pitching. I'm trying to get something here. Just think about it. The Chum room.
Ooh.
Bang bang.
Chum room. I think there's something.
It's just a small, intimate club. You got you got a few people back, chilling, drinking scotch on the ice, smoking a cigar. There's a sign at the door that says "No Ricks Allowed." I mean, the vibes are vibing in this place.
Oh, the Chum room. All right.
The vibes are vibing in the Chum room. There's no Ricks allowed. We're just chumming it up, having a good time.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
No?
I'll be really upset if that happens.
I'm just trying to get a place where Rick's not allowed, Well,
I mean, I bring something to the table.
you bring everything to the table. I'm just, I'm trying to get out of your shadow. It's hard. It's a hard shadow to live in. It's a hard shadow to live in when we go out and everyone wants to talk to you. The man of mystery right here. Rick he's so good at out in public talking to me. I'm sure you've seen him doing it.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I always tell people, they're like, oh, how's Rick? I'm like, dude, no one loves listening to Rick talk more than Rick. But he has good things to talk about. Like, he has the best things to talk about. When we're filming and we're like filming our seasons, I don't watch the news anyways, but I'm much more up to date when we're filming because I just come in and I say, hey, Rick, Let me get a 20-minute rundown. What's going on in the world today?
Right.
He just knows everything.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, it's been an amazing show. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Rick? Is there anything else you want to ask Derek?
No, I just like I don't know if I want to see the Chum Chum room or not in the next casino, but like we'll find out about it. Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be allowed. It's going to be good vibes only, right? Cigars and scotch. I don't think that's your thing, right?
All right.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, I want to tell you, thanks for the invite to come on your podcast here. And I will tell you, every time I'm going to a meeting and I'm going back and forth up and down Las Vegas Boulevard and I see these lines out here, I just want to tell you, it makes me feel good for you guys. It makes me feel good for Las Vegas. I wish you nothing but the best success.
Well, I also want to thank you for supporting us for so many years. I mean, we have experts that come in from out of town, and I mean, you put them up and host them at the D, and it's been a pleasure working with you. It's been a pleasure filming stuff over at the D all the time. One of my favorite things I did was the remote control boat over in the pool over there. We did some really cool stuff over there. It's been a wonderful.
We did the quarter thing there at the D too.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful symbiotic relationship, between us. Not like the leech sucking relationship that me and Rick have. He just sucks all my energy out. Only good vibes we've had over there.
All right, I love you too, Chum.
I love you.
Thanks a lot, fellas.